Hey, what's up, everyone? I was just sitting in my garage and I was stropping my lovely $8 Mora knife. By the way, if you don't have one of these, $8, very cool. I'll throw a link in the description. But very cool, kind of like a little medium duty camp knife. $8, tough to beat. But anyway, it's not about this video's not about the knife. Um, what it is about is kind of improving your long term outlook. Now, please don't take anything I'm going to tell you as investment advice. Just kind of some things that I've done over the years, and I think it's turned out well. So I figured I'd share it with you. From the title, you might guess that I'm a big fan of buying used firearms versus new firearms. I was going through stuff, and I figure maybe just under half of the firearms I've purchased that I currently own have been purchased used. And if you look at the ones that I may have sold over the years, I think that would probably go over the 50% mark. I'm actually surprised it's that low. I would have actually guessed maybe 65 or 70%, but it is just under 50%. And here's why: if you buy a firearm, it's new. You pay the full price for it. Now, if you buy it when it's used, you've kind of lost that once in a lifetime newness, and it might have never been used or used much at all. So, I mean, yeah, it's a used gun, but if it looks really good and it might have only been shot a couple of hundred times, you're essentially getting a new firearm for a big reduction. And I thought about this yesterday when I was at my one of my local gun shops, and I saw a lot of really good deals, and I was surprised to see these. One of them was a Glock 26. Now, if you really do your shopping, you can get them for about $4.99, maybe 5.10, 5.20, but basically close to five. Sometimes you see them higher, but that's just too much. When I bought my Glock 27, which is basically same gun, different caliber, I think I paid about 340 for it, and that was a few years back. And it had had night sights on it, three mags. And the one I saw yesterday was basically the same gun, but the 9mm version, the 26, and they were asking 349 for it. So it looked good cosmetically. It doesn't look like it was carried a whole bunch. Now, I don't know. It could have been shot three times. It could have been shot 3,000 times. I don't know. But you're saving about $150 on the cost of the gun, roughly. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but $150 on the cost of the gun. Um, and it might be pretty close to brand new. On the bright side, if something did wear out, you can fix it. It's a Glock. They're pretty easy. And the good thing is, if you were to buy a $500 gun and sell it, well, if they're selling them used, you might only get like, I don't know, 275 or 300. Whereas if you sell that used $350 gun that you bought, you might get 275, 300. So you're losing a lot of money by selling a gun that you bought new versus one that you bought old. Now it's if you go to a gun shop, if you're able to sell it, privately to someone, you may even be able to get a little more. Maybe you could charge 375, 380, 390, make a few bucks. I know that I've consigned a few handguns and rifles over the years to local gun shops, and I've almost always done either as good or better. I've either been able to get everything I paid and put that into another firearm, or maybe even make a little profit. I mean, nothing to set the world on fire, but maybe like $20, $30. Although one time I did do reasonably well on a Mosin Nagant that happened to be some kind of special version, and I did well on that one. I didn't know it was a special version when I bought it. I just thought it was a regular Mosin, so I did well. But I mean, over the years, these things are probably only going to appreciate, especially if you get something that's a sought after handgun. Like, for example, I bought a Ruger Super Blackhawk a few years ago. I bought it for $400. It's in nice shape. I had upgraded whole grips on it. I'm seeing them selling used for a heck of a lot more than that, about twice that. Now, I wouldn't personally pay $800 for a used Super Blackhawk, but I think there are people who will, and so I've kind of like doubled my money on that. Like I said, I've done well with a couple of Glocks that I've purchased. Um, There's just so many opportunities out there. And like I had said in yesterday's video, I went to the gun shop not really looking for a specific thing. I mean, I always have a few guns in my mind that I've been wanting to pick up. Like, for example, if they had a Thompson Center Encore there, stainless steel, I would have bought that thing. I don't care if it was, even if it was brand new and a little overpriced, I would have bought it because I've been looking for one and I can't find one that's not an absolutely crazy price. But with that said, there's also a lot of other things that I would buy for the right price. Like I said yesterday, I picked up a P3, a Keltec P3 AT, and basically the reason why I got it is because it was just a fantastic deal. There were other handguns that I liked a bit better than that, but I was thinking to myself, if I had to sell these, could I break even? And then on all the other ones that I was interested in, the answer was yes, I could. Now, could I break even on the one I got yesterday? Yes. But whereas with the other ones, I probably have like maybe a 90% or an 80% chance of breaking even or doing better. I think this one's like a 100% chance of breaking even and maybe even doing a few bucks better because the price was so fair that I paid for it. So, if you have some extra money and you're at the gun shop, if there's really nothing that catches your eye, but you see a good deal, might be a good idea to pick it up. I know yesterday I saw a Thompson Center muzzle loader, really beautiful muzzle loader. It was a 50 cal stainless steel, and it was super nice. Now I've never shot a muzzle loader. I've thought of picking one up though. I thought it'd be a cool idea. Well, this one was $99 used. Looked really good. Um, I mean, if you looked at it very closely, you could tell it was used. But it was used. It wasn't abused by any means. Just from the look I took up, my quick look that I took at the rifle. But $99. And again, I'm thinking to myself, down the road, could I sell that for 150, 160, 170? Probably think I could because it's not some used new a no name gun. It's a great company. It's Thompson. I love Thompson stuff. I have a couple of contenders. So if you are thinking of buying, oh, another one I forgot to tell you, I think I might have. There was a Glock 17. As you know, those tend to go about five and a quarter. There was a Glock 17 at the shop. Um, they were selling it for $3.99, and it had night sights. So as you know, the night sights, cheap ones might cost you like $60. Good ones will cost you over 100. I don't know what kind of night sights were in this. I just know they were night sights. I didn't look that closely. Um, so figure they were knocking off about 100 to 125 on the gun. I did handle that one. It looked like it was barely shot, from what I can tell. On the negative, it came with two magazines rather than three. It was a Gen 5, and again, $3.99. So that was a great deal. I think if someone were to buy that and then get sick of it and sell it in the future, I don't think they're losing any money on that handgun because I think you could sell it for $400 all day long with two mags and night sights. So it's kind of a good way to avoid depreciation. I mean, I know if you think about it, when you buy a car, you might pay 20,000. You're driving around just a tiny, teeny bit, and all of a sudden now it's worth 18.8 or 19,000. Same thing with guns. You buy that new gun, it's probably going to drop in value. But if you buy it used and you keep it in good condition, keep it in tip-top shape, it's going to keep that value. Especially if you have multiple firearms and you tend not to shoot them too much. That's kind of with me. When I first started getting into firearms, I only had one or two. I would go to the range and I'd shoot the same ones over and over and over and over again. So, when I give some of my thoughts on certain guns, there are certain guns that I've put thousands of rounds through. So when I say, this is a great gun, it really performs very well. Well, I might have 3, 4, 5,000 rounds through it. So I feel pretty confident saying that. Whereas there are some other ones I haven't shot 5,000 rounds because I have other options. So when I go to the range, I'll kind of think, what am I going to bring today? So I don't have the same kind of round counts on them. So what I do is I just try to keep track of what I did shoot, try and go a couple of times. And, I hate the saying, but it is what it is. So just want to kind of throw that out there for you. That if you don't look at used guns now, try and find a local place that has a lot of good used guns and try and seek them out. Now, I know there are some online auction sites and whatnot that have things like that, and I tend not to do too well with those because when you look at the cost of the FFL transfer, the sales tax, the shipping, occasional credit card fees, you're not really saving anything. I've had some of my very best purchases from local gun shops. So I would definitely encourage you to check out your local gun shops, maybe make it a habit of going in fairly regularly. And if they know, if you get to know them and there's something in particular you like, maybe they can hold it aside for you. So just a few ideas about the beauty of used guns, because like I said, I'm a very big fan, and whenever I have the opportunity to pick them up and save a few dollars and kind of in a way add to my net worth, because if you're buying something for 150 and you think you could get 200 for it because of the value, you've just kind of increased the value of your firearms collection. So I'll leave you with that. Have a good one, and I will talk to you later.